today we are here with our friends from SOW the LAND. And today we're going to be helping them with processing some of their meat birds. Greetings! Sorry we're a little behind. Good to see you.
What's up, man?
Alright, give you a hug, that's alright?
Yeah.
Processing day.
Chicken processing day today.
There we go.
I know.
A lot of people back in the day, and I've even done this before, which I don't recommend this way, is just chopping their heads off and they run around. I always wondered before I saw that happen of the phrase running around with it like a chicken with your head cut off when a chicken has its head chopped off, and it really is just running all over the place. It's pretty chaotic. This way is much more peaceful, easier on the bird, and easier on the person processing too, I think.
Yeah, I think these cones act like almost like a hug. You know, it kind of keeps them contained.
That makes sense.
I think that's the idea of it, and so they kind of, when they're upside down, also that it makes them a little bit more lethargic. Kind of. Hopefully that's the case. That's what I've heard, anyways.
Yeah. So how many times a year do you all process chickens like this?
Typically, we've always done twice a year.
Okay.
So we'll raise 30 each time.
Okay.
So 60 for the total year. But this year, we're doing 120 chickens.
Wow.
So double what we usually do. And so we're going to end up doing this 4 times this year.
Okay. So doing it the way you did it in the past, it was almost like one bird of consumption a week, basically. 52 weeks out of the year, and you were 60, so close to that.
Right, and what we're finding is we eat a little bit more than that. I feel like it's not enough for us. Like we might have like, you know, some weeks you have 2 chickens a week.
Okay.
You know, and then we do sell some here and there.
Okay.
You know, and so more people were asking us, hey, do you sell chicken? So we're kind of raising a little bit more for them, you know, for our neighbors, for local community, and then having more chickens for ourselves.
Yeah, that's great. For somebody just starting, how many would you recommend them start with? Because I started with 50. Could be a little bit more than I probably should have, but what would you recommend?
No, 50 is great. I would recommend at least 25.
Okay.
Like some people say like maybe like 5 or 10, but really like if you're gonna raise say 5 chickens, it's not that much different to raise 25. I mean, yes, you know, it's more feed, it's more chickens, but like the whole process is generally the same thing. You know, like you still, if you're moving them in a chicken tractor, you still got to move that chicken tractor. You know, whether it's 5 or 25. So I feel like if you're gonna do meat chickens for the first time, I would just do 25 right off the bat and go from there.
That makes sense. I even agree with that from a layer standpoint. Especially if you need more eggs, you no need to do just a handful and just go ahead and get 20 or so.
Yeah, it's the same process.
Yeah.
Like you might as well just go all in and do that 25.
There you go.
So this water is 150 degrees, and you basically give it a few dunks. Usually it's about a minute total that they're in here, and then you just check the thigh. That's coming out pretty easy. Maybe even check the feet, see if that's skin's coming off. That looks pretty easy, so I think this is good. You don't want to do too long because then once you put the chicken in the plucker, it might break the skin, and you don't want to break the skin. Sometimes you'll have some stragglers, some feathers in there. You just kind of pick off. So that leg can get more scalded, I think. It's not coming off.
So if it's not coming off, you know you need to put it back in a little bit longer?
Yeah,
A little more?
right.
Okay.
It wouldn't hurt. Get that leg.
So how long have you been processing your own birds?
We've been doing it since we moved here, so about 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
You feel like you got a good hang of it now? Looks like it.
Yeah, I think this is our, I think 12th time total processing our own birds.
There we go.
In 4 years, so yeah.
How does it feel knowing that you're producing this meat for your family?
I mean, it feels great. I mean, it's a lot of work. You know, it can be tough sometimes. I mean, every day we move these guys in a chicken tractor. You know, sometimes twice a day. And then today is like a full day of butchering the chickens. You know, and it's not like the funnest thing. It's not the funnest day today. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, I think it makes you feel a little bit better when you have that freezer full of meat, and it's like I can look out my window and see like where these birds came from.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know?
Yeah,
like,
that's awesome.
Like you know what you fed it. You know, we know what it ate.
Yeah.
We know what we put into it, and I mean that's what makes it worth it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now I've done it in the past, and I also think that, like you said, it's not the funnest thing in the world to
Right.
see something lose its life, basically.
Right.
But as Joe Southon said, for a life to continue, there must be something has to give its life, something has to die.
Yes.
And is that these animals are giving their life so our lives can continue is pretty awesome to think about.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's very, very spiritual.
Yeah, yeah. Just super thankful to have this opportunity to be able to do this.
Exactly right.
It's
Yeah.
just- yeah. All right.
Okay, we're ready. You want to do it, or you want me to show you?
Oh, let me see one first.
Okay, so I usually just like to go through and
Finish plucking.
finish plucking. And just pluck off all the feathers that I can. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I mean, we'll do like a quality control at the end and just look for more feathers. But I mean, sometimes this will just wash away. It just needs to be rinsed.
Hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard time, you and I
You
can
can do this part,
weather any
brings back memories.
storm.
I get a little gaggy thinking about it, actually.
Before I
But okay, it's done. You just gotta do what you gotta do.
Homesteading life, tough as yeah.
Side by side,
Whether you want to or not.
That's for sure. Yeah.
no limit to what we can do. Oh, we
So with your
know
vinegar
what we
rinse, what
have,
ratio
let's
of vinegar do you have in there to water? Just kind of wing it?
It's wing it. It's about a cup
Okay.
for this whole thing with
Okay.
water and ice.
Just straight white vinegar?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll leave it in here for about a minute, and then we'll put it in the pink bath. And in the pink bath, that's where they're going to continue draining any
Okay.
blood and just kind of get rid of that.
Okay.
That has a splash of vinegar in it.
Okay.
And that's about it.
And what is the purpose of the vinegar bath?
To kind of sanitize.
Okay.
And just like if anything that wasn't clean, like maybe from the table or our hands, but everything is clean. It's just kind of an extra precaution.
And for those of you who don't know, vinegar is an excellent cleaner, disinfectant, natural thing you can use besides the chemical junk. So there we go. right, Jason, so if you don't mind, I'm gonna grab this one and put my hands in it. I'm gonna just watch it all day.
Just grab the chicken. Yeah, put their backs.
Backs. Oh, that's
Yeah, put their backs in the back. There you go, like that. Pull their head out.
left-handed. So you're looking for about right there.
Yeah, just above.
How do you know when it's good here? Just when it looks clean?
Yeah, just when it looks clean. You don't want to do it too much, and again, you might if you do it. You don't want to like break the skin or anything
Okay.
like that. So you kind of have to. It's pretty quick.
Okay.
It does, and then
All right.
you might have some pin feathers here and there, but
Other than that, looks good to go.
Yep.
All right.
It was a little frustrating.
All righty. Look at Mama getting to town over there. So you guys have a really beautiful homestead here,
Yeah, thank you.
but you guys aren't from here originally.
No.
From California, right?
Yeah, Southern California, just outside of Los Angeles.
Okay. And what made you pick mountain areas of North Carolina to come start a homestead?
Yeah. Well, we came to visit here. We knew a couple that lived out here or moved out here from the area we lived in. And they knew that we kind of wanted to find a little bit of land, kind of homestead, and kind of move out of California. And so we saw where they were moving to, and we thought, well, let's check it out. Maybe we might like it. And so we came to visit for like a week and on vacation, just to kind of see the area. Never been out on the East Coast ever before that.
Wow.
And we liked it. We felt like this is where we needed to be.
There we go.
Yeah, and then 6 months later, I flew down here by myself and saw like 15 different properties, and we picked one.
That's great. Well, we are glad you're out here with us. That was it. So how's it going over here with processing bird?
It's going. It's going. I'm getting better, I think.
Feel like you got the hang of it?
Somewhat, yeah.
Pro now? Like Lorraine over there?
I'm not a pro like Lorraine.
Well, I definitely feel like I'm getting a better hang of it with slitting the throat and putting them in the plucker and the scalder. So
You want to try to
definitely get a better hand. So Jason, did you grow up having this kind of lifestyle? Homesteading and slaughtering animals and growing food?
No, not at all.
No? So what was it that drew you to doing this?
So for us, like, it really, I think it was 10 years ago when I had cancer. I was diagnosed with cancer, Hodgkin's lymphoma, and you know that pretty much changes you. You know, like it changes us, like our way of thinking, and just we started thinking about like, man, what do we want out of life? You know, like I feel like you almost have this second chance of life, and we started like figuring out like, should we be eating better? Should we be taking care of ourselves and take control of our own health? And yeah, that just kind of like snowballed into this of wanting to grow our own food and trying to live more healthy and trying to just cut out bad stuff in our diet. I mean, not only in our nutrition in our diet, but like also just in stuff that we have. You know, we started to think like more minimally, like we don't need all this stuff in our house. You know, we started trying to live more minimally. And that kind of just snowballed into this like, hey, let's go start this small farm or buy a little bit of land and grow more of our own food and try just to be more healthier. And 10 years, 11 years now since I had cancer, and we're here butchering chickens. Like, it's crazy.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah.
Wow. So I'm assuming you don't regret it that you made this decision to do it.
No, not at all. I mean, it's not easy. It was not an easy decision. Just we moved basically away from everything that we knew, like our family, friends, and moved to an area that we really knew nothing about, had never really been here. But we felt like this is where we needed to be, and so definitely not an easy decision, but no regrets. I think it's been everything that we had imagined it could be.
You felt like it was like a calling pulling you away from that lifestyle to where you are now?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know what it was. I think it was just growing that first tomato and eating that first tomato and like falling in love with that.
It's empowering.
Yeah, and just
great.
like, man, we could grow our own food. This is amazing. Like we could just and eat healthier and just like having the dirt, our hands in the soil, and like just doing what we love to do, and like how can we do more of that?
Yeah, it's almost like we're meant to do that, to have that connection with the natural world around us is something that's truly special.
It is.
What would you say to anyone out there who's considering doing something like you did, of making that change?
It's tough to make this change, and I would say, first of all, start where you're at. I mean, I'm sure people have heard that before, and I used to get frustrated when people would tell me that, like, just start where you're at and just start doing it, because I didn't want to be where I was. I wanted to be somewhere else. So I didn't want to start where I was at. I wanted to start somewhere else, but it was important. Like, that's what we did. We just started where we're at, trying to figure out like how to grow our own food in a much smaller scale than we are now, and then just how to cook that food, how to can that food, and just starting having this like homesteading mindset, but in the city. Like, try to live more frugally, more minimally. And then once we started figuring that out, then it was like, okay, let's move on to the next thing, and that's selling all our stuff and moving, and then continuing that homestead mindset into a much larger scale. And I mean, I would say start where you're at.
Totally agree with that, and it's a process, and it's one of those things you just got to take it step by step, but just do something with where you are. All right, Selah, you gonna do this?
Yep.
That looks pretty cool. Mostly all right. So do you like processing chickens?
Yeah.
You do?
The further we move on from all those yesterdays, happiness gets nearer. The light that we see closing in so fast ahead, it's hope, it's getting clearer. The more I think of all the tough times we survived,
Got a good one.
the more it makes me smile.
The pressure.
If nothing's broken us, yeah, nothing never will. 'Cause dreams are hard to kill. And I know somewhere's a place where we can build our memories. Somewhere, just hold on tight, it'll be alright. Show me the way, show me a way to somewhere, to somewhere. Nothing from the past can hurt us anymore. We're free.
So you're heating the water up now to about 180 degrees.
Yes.
What will that be for?
And that's just to bag them up. We're gonna shrink wrap the whole chickens, put them in a bag, and then dip them in the water, and it sucks all the air out, and so it like shrink wraps. It's amazing how it works.
All righty. So what are you ladies up to over here?
We're doing quality control, so we're going to lay out all the birds, let them dry in the wind, and then while they're drying, we're going to go through them, make sure we took out all the lungs, and if they have a tail, we're going to make sure that the oil gland is taken out, and just kind of pull out little pin feathers.
Alrighty.
There's a couple of different ways to do this. One of them is poke a hole method, where you put it tight in here as possible, and then you poke a tiny hole in there, and then you dip it in the hot water, and then all the air comes out of here, and then you zip tie it, and then you put maybe a sticker over the hole to prevent like some of the juices coming out, or you have a straw and then you don't poke a hole. You put the straw in the top, this is a small bird. You take all the air out as much as possible. Instead of poking the hole where all the air comes out of, all the air is going to come out of the straw. And so we kind of like this method better because you're not poking a hole, and a lot of the time some of the juices would come out anyways, even if you did put a sticker. So this way, like, less juices come out of inside your freezer or your cooler. And then see, it got more tighter, so all the air came out. And then you put a zip tie on this, tie it real tight, and then pull the straw out.
Before you bag these, how do you know when they're dry enough to bag them?
When they're not dripping.
Okay. Like that, it's a wrap. Last one.
Last one? grown.
Well, Jason, it's been a blast. Thank you for letting us join along with you with processing the chickens.
Yeah, that was
and
fun.
letting us see your homestead. It's a beautiful place that you guys have outside as well as inside here.
Yeah.
And letting us share the part of homesteading, of processing chickens. It's pretty neat. And even watching your daughter do it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And we had a couple kids join today, and
Oh, yeah.
it's just neat seeing these skills passed on to the next generation. So
Yeah, I think it's important.
So thank you for having a hand and as well as us and other homesteaders in helping to pass these things on, because it's very important.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out helping us out.
Yeah.
That was fun.